red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Ladies in red. Discuss the latest news, just fans giving their views. This channel is red. They see the bar and raise it, plus they rep for the ladies. Trust it's red. Female voices in football. Red. If you want to talk up, it's a red channel for me and you. Subscribe and tune into the ladies in red.
Hi guys, let me add myself to the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to Ladies in Red. Hope you've all had a lovely week. It is the weekend. Obviously, we have got to talk about yesterday. And I thought a lot of us Reds need a bit of therapy today. So I thought a calling show was the best kind of show to do. I was going to do a post-game show and I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to do a calling. So I think a lot of us need to get things off our chest. I saw Twitter yesterday. It was very toxic. And yeah, I think therapy is what we all need. So I wanted to get into that today. But firstly, obviously, if you want to get involved, there is a link in the chat. Hit that link and you guys can get involved and obviously come and have your say. I can already see 2 people waiting. I'll get those on very, very shortly. But this area is all about you guys. I've got no agenda. This is what you want to talk about. And it doesn't have to be just United fans. I want to reiterate, it can be any fans at all. So come and hit the link and get involved. So firstly, I've got Curlis and I'm going to get Curlis on very, very shortly. And let's hear what he has to say. Curlis, how you doing?
Not bad. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you all fine.
Looking well there, Sophie.
Thank you, Curlis. I appreciate that. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. As you say, last night, a toxic meltdown. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I'm probably more angry with how the game was refereed than I was with the performance.
There was a few questionable decisions, to say the least, weren't there?
I mean, it's every single game this season that United have had an absolute stinker of a ref in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean,
am I right in saying that apparently the ref has warned Ten Hag about Bruno and Anthony, saying that they were close to a red card, hence why he made the changes?
Yep.
I mean, really? Like, I know Anthony, there was a bit of with Acuna, wasn't there? There was a bit of to and fro in. That's both of them, though, to be fair. And it was healthy, wasn't it? They were laughing about it. They were shaking hands afterwards. Like, for me, you like to see that competitiveness. Like, I don't understand how either of them are close to a red card. And Bruno shouldn't have even been on a yellow card, can I just add? That infuriated me. How on earth is that a yellow, Curlis?
Well, you tell me, because the stamp was a red card all day long, and that wasn't given. And then you've got Montiel, who apparently was shot twice in the game, and then proceeded to go to the assistant referee to look for the player to be booked, signalling that he was punched. I don't know if you've seen that.
I did, yeah. I did see it.
He's standing there shocked and stunned. But it's then okay for them to rough up Casemiro, who really was in the brunt of a few bad ones yesterday. So to me, the ref just lost it.
Yeah, I feel like it was a frustrating game. I thought we started the game really well. When Sancho had that goal disallowed really early, I felt really positive about it. First half was good. I can't help but say that we're kind of masters of our own downfall. We've done it so often this season where we're battering teams, but we just don't take the chances, and you just know it's going to come back to bite you. Especially a team like Sevilla, who, yes, they're not having the best season, but we know they're a bit of a bogey team for us. And it's just frustrating to me. Like, we give the other team hope, regardless of who it is. We always seem to give the other team hope. And of course, as the officiating, like you say, was shocking. A lot of people questioning Ten Hag subs and whatnot as well. But for me, like, that game should have been put to bed by half time. And I think so often this season we've seen that, where it's almost like we're trying to walk it in at times. And I find it so frustrating. And I get that we haven't got that top quality striker that everyone calling out for. I thought Martial first half yesterday was quality. Second half, we didn't get him in the game at all. But I am frustrated at that aspect of it. I felt like we were actually, that first half, we could have put the game to bed by half time and we didn't. That second half, then we give Sevilla hope. And obviously, well, what happened after, I mean, it was shambolic, wasn't it? We just had a disaster. I don't even know what words to summarise. Everything, what could have gone wrong, went wrong. And above everything else, obviously, the Martinez injury for me was what hurt the most. 2-2. Of course, it's disappointing being 2-0 up, but I still have faith that actually we can get a result against Sevilla. It's going to be tough, of course, with the injuries, but that injury to Martinez after Varane as well, like, that was just heartbreaking.
As I say, it's been coming. Small squad, overused. All these people complaining to Eric Ten Hag about the rotation that he's had to use and how it's cost us points. Where you see why he's been rotating, it's to try and save the players as much as he can, and it just came unstuck. That was always the worry for fans. Could we see it to the end of the season?
Yeah.
He's got a fractured toe.
It's metatarsal, is it? Metatarsal?
Fractured metatarsal. So
I found that a bit mad though, because there was no impact on it, was there? It's his 5th metatarsal, I think, but there was no impact. He seemed to just be like moving with the ball, and then it just went. And normally with an injury like that, you associate it with being an impact injury.
Yeah.
It's better than an Achilles, let's be honest. It's better than that, which is what everyone feared.
Yeah, well, as I say, that's what everybody thought because of the fact there was no overall impact the way he sort of pulled up. But as I say, you're now hoping that Luke Shaw is back relatively soon. There's talk about Rashford perhaps being back for the second leg.
Yeah. Does it worry you though that we've done it before, especially with Rashford, like forcing him back too quickly could actually be worse? Do you know? Because it seems like a fast turnaround, does it? I know we need him and obviously he's essential, but it worries me that the speed at which that Rashford, because Rashford seems the type for me who actually will just try and play on.
Yeah,
but obviously with like a groin injury, like you can't really force that, can you?
No, the problem is we're still in 2 cups.
Yeah.
If we weren't in 2 cups, you wouldn't expect to see him back, would you? Honestly.
Of course. Well, not yet, but
we're in 2 cups, and he's obviously going to try by hook or crook, I suppose. It's the same with Shaw. He's been up and down, and so you're just hoping if they can get Shaw back. I don't think that's as bad in defence. It depends what's happening with Varane. If Varane was to be out for, say, a week or whatever, we can pretty much cope with that. If it's 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, then as I say, it's all up in the air now as to what they're going to do.
Yeah, where you were really optimistic saying we were going to win at least another trophy, weren't you? Has that optimism died a little bit after yesterday?
No, I still said we would win 2. I think the problem we've got now is we're going to have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Because the reality is there's the Forest game at the weekend. And then
it's a big game as well, away.
Yeah. We should be winning that. As I say, but it's Casemiro and Eriksen are there, so you might find Casemiro in defence.
Yeah. I could see that happening. And McTominay, obviously, we're not sure, but he could possibly be back as well. So Shaw and McTominay could be back for the weekend. If that is the case, McTominay is another player who, to be fair, he was playing well. He could slot in. Yeah. Luke Shaw could be that left-sided centre-back, couldn't he, as well?
As I say, I still think there's the possibility of the FA Cup. If you were to make a decision on what my other cup would be, it would be the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Because if we beat Brighton next week, then we're in the final, and then it's a case of we've got time to get players back.
Reevaluate at that point. Yeah, it's going to be a tough test. No two ways about it. But it always was going to be a tough test, as you mentioned with our small squad, wasn't it? It's the nature of the injuries that they're all big players at key moments that seem to be like they say bad things coming for each, don't they? And it's seeming that way for United at the minute. Like yesterday was a shocker, but it could have been worse. We didn't lose the game. We could have quite easily lost the game. I felt towards the end we didn't, and I just feel like we have got a chance going to Sevilla. We need to try and stay positive.
2 fluky goals. They get 2 fluky goals. The first one, the first one, yes, it's what bothers me that they've attacked Malacia. I thought he played well last night. That's my opinion before anybody starts, having a meltdown. I thought he played well. I thought he got turned for the goal. Okay, fair enough. But if you watch the goal, rather than it, then just open your mouse, you see the player strike the ball. It deflects off Malacia, and then it deflects off De Gea. De Gea sets himself for the save. The deflection takes the ball at a trajectory that's lower than what he's expecting, which is why it hits off his shin or his knee and goes in.
Yeah. I think Malacia, like, he's still raw, isn't he? I don't think he was quality. Yesterday, I think he's had better games, but at the same time, like, I think it was one of them that we were so dominant, and I think all of us kind of switched stuff. No, he wasn't awful. He wasn't the worst player on the pitch. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's still raw. He's still going to have those moments where he is a bit rash because he's you know what I mean? For me, he was an absolute steal, and I think he's been a great signing, and I really like him. And there were 2 free goals that we conceded yesterday. I saw a lot of people slating Harry Maguire, one before he even did anything. But what's he meant to do? That was just a free goal, the way that it's just hit him and gone in. And it had to be Harry Maguire. It had to be him. You couldn't write it.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's 2 free goals. Both of them are massive deflections. What are you supposed to do?
What you're supposed to do is put the game to bed before that, isn't it? And I guess that's the point that I'm making.
I mean, that's all fine and well. We were flying and we were 2 up. Yeah. And it's got 2 free goals. Take away the fact they scored 2 freaky goals. We were flying.
It's one of that. Like I say, it could be worse. We could have lost as well as everything else. We didn't. I still think we have a very good chance going away to Sevilla. It's going to be a tough test. Their tails are going to be up, but we're not out of it.
Yeah, there's no Bruno for that. But,
which also frustrated me because how that is a yellow card is just beyond me. And we've seen it happen with Martinez as well at other points. And it's just so frustrating, these stupid yellow cards. And then you mentioned the Lamela challenge. The Lamela one, for me, I don't think there was any real intent in it. But if Silva round and it's Casemiro, 100% that's given us a red card, which is what frustrated me.
I tweeted that straight away. If Casemiro makes that challenge, it's a red card and he's off.
Yeah. It's the inconsistency, isn't it? It's the fact that certain players will get, we know 100% will get punished for that, and Lamela didn't. And I'm not saying there was intent. I don't think there was. I don't think he purposely put the weight down on it. But like I'm saying, regardless, if it was the other way around, it would be a red card. And it's the inconsistency that is so frustrating with it. Luckily, Casemiro wasn't too hurt from it.
There was one where it was Casemiro got kicked in the face with a guy. I think it was trying to, and that was a booking, and nothing happens.
And the Bruno one, Rahul said there, it's very sus. For me, it was the first chance the ref had a booking Bruno. He did it.
He did.
No way was that a booking. No way. And he didn't even hesitate to do the ref. It was like he was going to do it.
It's every single game in Europe this season we've had the most shocking referees.
Yeah.
The most shocking.
But we're still in it. I'm trying to stay optimistic and positive because we've had a lot of positives this season.
I'm quite mellow about it. As I said, injuries are more a downer than anything.
Yeah.
I'll just sort of finish off my mini rant by I don't even want to say it's the most depressing of the subjects, but this so-called sale, there's more rounds than the Rocky movie with this.
There's a milk in every penny out of it, aren't there?
It is beyond funny now. And I don't know, I can't remember, what's his face? What's that guy that pulled out Zavarite?
Yeah, Thomas. I can't remember. I'll tell you what.
I've got him down as Thomas Sarkonia. That's
you're close enough with that. We all know who you mean. Yeah.
Right.
I'll be honest. I've kind of switched off from it until I see a confirmation because I'm just like, you know what? I'm sick of seeing it, and I just know the Glazers are loving every second of this, constantly moving the goalposts.
Yep. I'm at the point where I'm really starting to fret over it because I did say straight away when they made the press release they wouldn't sell, because if you actually read what they say, they don't say full sale until the last 3 words of the statement.
Yeah.
As opposed to if I was going to sell something, I would just say it straight away, I'm going to sell the club. We're now looking for bidders, but they don't say that. The phrase potential full sale is the last 3 words of the statement. So in other words, we'll look for the possibility bar the full sale, but I remain hopeful.
Yeah, we got to stay hopeful, haven't we? We've got to keep pushing and keep trying to get these owners out. And like I say, even though it seems to be pessimistic after yesterday's result, we're still in the competition. We're not out by any stretch of the imagination. Martinez's injury isn't as bad as what we thought it was.
Yeah.
Rashford could be back potentially sooner. Luke Shaw, McTominay back for the weekend. Hopefully it's not as bad as first seemed, but it is still gutting nonetheless after being 2-0 up. But look, I think I'm kind of over it now. The Martinez injury, like I literally woke up this morning thinking I had a nightmare, thinking it didn't really happen. Unfortunately, it did. But a bit more positive news today that it is a metatarsal and it isn't like really bad ligaments or an Achilles.
Yeah, he said that in the press conference last night. It wasn't an Achilles, so we all knew then. So it was a case of you're waiting to see if it was a hamstring or a muscle tear or whatever, and then we find out it's a broken whatever toe or you know. So that is what it is. He'll not be playing again. I don't think.
So I think they said it could be up to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks.
It depends on whether or not it needs surgery. Obviously, they've got to wait for it to swell into get in.
Yeah, 100%. But Curtis, it's been an absolute pleasure, and apologies I haven't had a chat for a while, but thank you for tuning in as always. I appreciate it, and obviously always respect your views as well. What's your score prediction for Forest at the weekend? I'm going to end on that with you.
I'll say 2-1. I still think we'll win at the weekend, but as I say, it'll just be the balance, I think, with the defence. You might see Casemiro in defence until Shaw's back, and then it'll be Shaw and either Varane or Shaw and Lindelof.
Yeah, in the Brighton game.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with you on that. Curlers, thank you as always. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll speak to you again soon. Thanks for the call.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. So Curtis there, starting off the stream. I was still a bit speechless after what happened yesterday, to be honest with you. But we have to look forward. We have to move on. I've got Akepin waiting, so I'm going to get Akepin on very shortly. I'm just going to say, guys, the link is there pinned. If you want to get involved, obviously, I'm here for an hour. So come and get involved. Any fans are welcome. So I can see Doug there as well as a Liverpool fan. Doug, if you want to come and tune in, please feel free and hit that link. I'd love to have a chat with plenty of people today because it's been a while. But Akepin, let's get you on. How are you doing?
Laughable, to be honest. What do you expect? Disappointed me twice this month now. Actually, substitutions not good enough. I mean, we have looked better in the past 3 games. I'm gonna hold my hands up on that one. I think Man United have really stepped up the performances when we played our best 11, possible best 11, but it's still not enough because we still haven't been scoring a lot of goals. We still haven't been scoring like a bag load of goals. We've been scoring a decent amount. Let's say the Brentford game was one prime example of a game where I thought that was not enough. We didn't score enough. Our goal difference is the worst it's been since I don't know how many years. And
that's what I was saying earlier about being clinical. Like we seem to dominate, but then don't put those chances away. And it's clear as day in our goal difference, isn't it? It's not like we haven't created chances because we have. We
have been creating a lot of chances, and as much as I've been critical of Bruno this season, I still think the chances that he's been creating, he's still been that guy that's like, it kind of gets us ticking. Even though I'm not a huge Bruno Fernandes like fan, like I still think there can be room of improvement in that.
I like him in this deeper role, and I'm not saying in every game. And I've said this on my show.
He's been playing at a higher.
Yeah, I think when he's deep, sometimes he's a bit of a risk taker, and I think against the better teams, if you like, I think like he can get caught out.
He's not a 6 or an 8. He's a 10.
But I do think in games like Sevilla yesterday, where we dominate the ball, I feel like drop him deeper because he can pick those passes like he did for the Sabitzer goal. So I do think he can do that, but just not every game. But he's been doing that obviously last few games.
Could have easily won that game last night. I thought
after
2-0, we should have been putting away 2 or 3 more chances. Instead, we scored 2 chances at the other end.
Yeah,
I can't even blame Harry Maguire last night. I thought he put in a good performance. People are overlooking at the own goal and saying he played bad. I don't think he played badly at all. I think he was isolated in defense.
It's horrible to say, but before he even kicked the ball last night, when it was rumored he was coming on, like people are slagging him off already on Twitter. I don't like seeing that. He's an easy target. And look, I do agree. When he's there, it's noticeable. We are worse, 100%. We played differently when Maguire was there. But he didn't do anything like wrong yesterday. It wasn't like it was his fault for the goal. I'm just saying our confidence is different.
It was very unfortunate. The own goal was very unfortunate. I don't think you could do much about that. But I still think Malacia should never have stopped his run. Malacia should not have stood still.
He just switched off for a second, didn't he?
He should have played till the dead ball. I think if we played till the dead ball, it could have been 2-1 to United instead of 2-2. And let's be honest, I think 2-1 would be more confident going to Sevilla rather than being 2-2. Because the score.
I think we have to bear in mind as well. We were down to 10 for that last bit as well. Obviously, Sevilla were pushing, and we were down to 10. And I think you have to think about that as well.
Like I said, I don't agree with taking. I know Sancho had a decent game, somewhat decent game. Martial was brilliant again. I thought Anthony had a really good game yesterday and got taken off. I don't think he should.
Anthony was, for me, our best player yesterday. I thought
yeah,
he was
again,
Rahul,
2 games.
Lovely to speak to you as well, Rahul. And Sabitzer as well is another player who's impressing me, especially playing higher up.
Sabitzer's class.
I love the guy.
Sabitzer has come in and done so well, but I think we should sign him up, but not as a starter. I think he should be a backup midfielder to like whoever comes off the bench. Like,
he loves it. You can see he loves it. He doesn't.
Yeah, he loves the club. I like these players. Type of players like these. I like players like these who give it all for the club, who care about being here rather than this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Rather than coming for the money, playing for the back.
For me, it's a no-brainer with Sabitzer. We sign him.
No-brainer.
I want to mention Weghorst as well. I've seen a lot of people going mad on Twitter about where he could have passed it to Elanga and he passed it to Malacia. Now, I don't know if I've just got a controversial view here. For me, of course, he should have passed it to Elanga. I'm not saying it, but for me, Malacia should have still done way better. Even on that screenshot, he's telling me that Malacia shouldn't have done better with that.
I don't know why he took it. I don't know why he took an extra touch. He just shot that right away. He took another touch. He just shot. He should have powered that. Malacia.
It's frustrating me because I'm thinking, hang on, Weghorst, of course, he could have squared it right. Could have even turned down a shot on his own. Yeah. But he's telling me that Malacia shouldn't have done better with that. He's still gifted him practically like an open goal.
For me, Malacia needs to do more on the ball. His final product is not that great. Malacia needs to put better balls in the box. He needs to be.
I think he's already improved a lot though from when we signed him, and I do think he will continue to. So I'm not disregarding that. I'm just saying that everyone's getting on Weghorst's back. But for me, that was a clear as day chance, and that's another example of us not just being clinical. That could have been 3-0 game to bed. Well.
Let's not forget, Sancho took another touch in front of goal.
Yeah. Sancho is a player that, I'm not going to lie, he frustrates the hell out of me, Sancho, because I remember us having chats plenty of times, and I remember asking people, like, I don't watch a lot of Bundesliga, and I was saying, is Sancho really all that? Because I haven't really seen much of him, and people are like, trust me, he is. And obviously, I've seen YouTube clips in that, but I haven't seen any sign of that really at United. It's been frustrating at United.
Sometimes compilations can be overlooking everything. Sometimes compilations overlook every single thing that a player does. It's just the best part of every player. Sometimes
it's like when you watch a movie trailer, innit? You watch a movie trailer and it shows all the best parts. So you think, I really want to go and see that, and then you go and see it, and it's shocking. Like that's what it is. Like, all the best parts are in the trailer, and that's what it is.
I thought Sancho had his best game in a United shirt against Everton. I thought that was his best game for me ever in a Man United shirt since he's joined. Like the amount of chances.
I probably agree with that.
The amount of chances.
But then I thought yesterday he looked shot, like his confidence looked shot. There's a few times where he didn't even track back; he just walking his head down. And I'm thinking
he could have slipped the pass through to Bruno. He could have slipped the pass through Malacia for the overlap. There's been so many times where Sancho just delays himself on the ball. It just takes away the chance, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're just taking so long on the ball.
He's overcomplicating it, isn't he?
Exactly.
And I think that's a confidence thing. He's not got that instinct like to naturally do it. He's overthinking it, and it's frustrating because obviously we've had a lot of money for him. We've been very patient with him, and I'm not writing him off because you know me, I don't do that. But I've got to be honest and say, like, for me, from what I've seen so far, he's overrated. I know it's brutal to say that, but like I don't get the hype around Sancho at the minute from what I've witnessed, from the evidence that we've seen at United. Of course, he could come good, and I really hope he does. But right now, for me, like, he just isn't cutting it. And of course, I want him to do well, but I don't see what a lot of people have seen in Sancho. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, this is purely just in a United shirt. Dortmund might have been killing it.
But the price tag that he came for it's unacceptable. Like, you should be performing at a higher level than this. You played with the English you played for the England national team. You've played with a few of these players before. I'm sure you've played with Maguire. I'm sure you've played with Shaw. I'm sure you've played with Rashford. I'm sure you played with Lingard before. I mean, it's not an excuse really if you're going to play well for England.
I hope Rahul's right. Of course, I'm praying that he does come good. I really hope it. But it seems up here with me that the issue is up here with Sancho.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping he can sort it. Yeah. Definitely. But obviously moving on, I can see I've got a few Liverpool fans in the chat waiting to come on the stream as well, which I'm looking forward to talking to 100%. And I am going to ask you a question away from United for a second. Who do you think is going to win the league? Because obviously Liverpool took points off Arsenal the other day. A lot of people think that's a big twist in it. Like, hand on heart, who do you see winning it, Akabin?
I hope Arsenal win it now because I'm sure you all know why now. I'm gonna be more. I'm gonna clarify to you why I want Arsenal to win the league now. Man City could do the treble. They could potentially do the treble. Now
Next, we're
I'm
going to win
sure-
the FA Cup, so it's all good.
Now I'm sure they. But
Fingers crossed.
The Champions League, the Premier League, I hope they don't win it all. I hope they don't win anything this year. I hope Man City go trophyless this year. I don't want City to win any trophies. But I think City have been really, really good. Let's be honest. I think City have been fantastic. Like ever since they've tweaked the squad, ever since they've let Cancelo go, ever since Haaland's come back from that injury, and Alvarez has come in. I mean, Jack Grealish is a different player now. He's looked a lot.
Last few games,
better.
he's been on fire, Grealish, to be fair.
I hate to say United, he's one of my favorite players. He's actually one of I don't want to say it because he's a Man City player, but he's actually like when I watch him play, it just looks so good.
Do you remember when everyone was tweeting
PI.
like his tweets back in the day when he was younger and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to the Dreams tonight," and everyone's like, "Oh, he's coming to
I don't know
United," and I remember getting so hyped about that. And then
now
he
we're
ends
all
up at
kind of
City.
wishing Villa got relegated, so we spent that 40 million on him.
Yeah,
No, we didn't.
no, I think it's hard to not like Jack Grealish anyway. Like, obviously, as an England supporter as well, it's hard. As a Brummie as well, so he's quite local to me, I'd say. So I think it's hard to not like him. But
he's from Villa.
Yeah, he's definitely Villa. Yeah, he's definitely living up to the price tag now. I think obviously 100 million is crazy, but I think that was looming over him, and I think that affected him to be honest for a bit. But I feel like now he's kind of coming to his own.
For me, minimum 60 million. I don't think 100 million was worth it. I think it should have been 60 at max. 100 million is way too much.
But when you think of how crazy the market is when we paid 80 for Maguire, I think it's hard to judge anything, isn't it?
English tax as well. The inflation is now crazy.
It's just stupid. It's stupid.
Bellingham's out for 50 million after being in Dortmund for 2 years. That's crazy.
Well, that was going to be my question actually, and obviously I will speak to the Liverpool fans about this as well. Bellingham, where do you see him going? I would absolutely love him at United, but we have to be realistic with a potential sale going on and the third now round of bidding. Like, we're not going to sign a striker and Bellingham. I can't see it happening. Bellingham for me would be my dream signing. I've said it for a long time. I would absolutely love him in a red shirt, but I just can't see it happening. No way.
He nearly came as well. He was at the
we missed out on it. Yeah.
Point.
Put the red carpet out for him and everything.
Him and Haaland nearly came to United as well one time. They were at the training ground looking at the club.
Alphonso Davies was another one.
Alphonso Davies. I mean, I really heard about Alphonso Davies when he came to visit Man United, but at the same time, I think he's going to. I think it's between these two clubs. I can't really pick out. I think between Man City and Real Madrid. I think these two teams because Real Madrid
seems the most natural for me. Like he seems that kind, like he's ambitious, isn't he? I don't think he's really bothered about.
You can't really replace Modric at this time. He's still balling at this age. Modric is insane. Like sometimes age.
But imagine Camavinga, Tchouameni, and Bellingham as their future midfield.
That
midfield
is set for the next 12 years, in my opinion. At least the next 12 years. That is a crazy young midfield. Camavinga can play at left back as well. Let's not forget.
Yeah. I could still see him having another year at Dortmund and then going to Liverpool. I could still see that happening.
I can see Liverpool coming. I can see Liverpool coming in for him, but they don't have the financial structure to.
That's why I think a lot can change in a year. To be fair, Liverpool obviously top 4 this season is looking unlikely. Could still happen, but looking unlikely. Next year, I think they're going to get back up. So I feel like a year he could stay for an extension for another year at Dortmund. He obviously loves his time at Dortmund. He's a bit they absolutely adore him there. He's a big player for them as well. At such a young age, they describe him like a leader there. So.
They have one of the best development team. They had one of the best development youth developments around the world. You saw Jadon Sancho, although he's not doing well right now. You've seen Bellingham. You've seen a lot of players. You've seen Moukoko as well. Is Moukoko's a Dortmund? Yeah, Moukoko's there. Moukoko's insanely good. Dembele went to Barcelona. The youth development there is really, really good. So if you actually want to develop your game, you go to Borussia Dortmund. That's the place where you go. And
he has developed. I mean, you watch him in an England shirt now, and he just dominates. He's outstanding. Yeah. And that's why I say I would love him. For me, he's the guy. If a new owner comes in at United, he's the guy that you're signing. You build a team around because he's that special. And I know sometimes with English players, you overhype English players, but with him, it's just a different class. And whoever gets him, I tweeted this today.
Midfielder, for my opinion, because may I need this guy? Need somebody
Frankie-esque,
yeah, Frankie-esque, yeah. So I'd like it. For example, I like João Palhinha. Palhinha is very, very good. I rate him. I rate him a lot. The footballer at Fulham, the midfielder at Fulham, he's very, very good. I like him a lot.
I think he's the closest thing really as a deputy to Casemiro as well. Like the way that he wins the ball in there, he's so tenacious. But he's also very good on the ball as well. Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's insanely good.
Yeah, no, it's quality. But obviously, we have got Forest at the weekend, Kevin. How are you feeling about that game? What's your score
We've
prediction?
done them 3 times this season already. We can do them again on Sunday.
You
We've
reckon?
done them
Even with the injuries?
We're not conceded a goal against them this season. We've won 3-0, 2-0. If we won 3-0, 3-0, 2-0 against them, we should win.
I think the only thing that worries me is the fact that they're fighting, obviously, relegation. It's at their ground. Their tails will be up with the injuries that we've got. I have no doubt the quality that we still have in our squad is more than enough to beat Forest, but we've just got to be at it on that day, and I'm just hoping that we are at it.
On Sunday, I don't see Forest. I do see them causing a threat. Obviously, they've got Brennan Johnson, like players that they can cause trouble. I mean, Lingard, if he's fit.
Gibbs White as well.
Lingard can revenge tour for Lingard. I mean, we'll see, because they're fighting for their lives at the moment, aren't they? I mean,
that adds an edge to it, doesn't it?
They're not technically in the relegation zone, but they want to be far away from it. So it'll be a tough game on Sunday. But I still expect United to get the job done, because we're at the quality that we have. We should be getting past Forest. I don't think it should be that difficult. And I hope I hope for no more injuries, because I think the injury blow that we've got to Martinez, Varane, Shaw, Rashford, and who's other, Donny. We've got players out, and
McTominay, plenty.
McTominay, I'm gonna be real. I'm not too concerned about McTominay, although he adds.
I think he was coming into decent form, though. I've got to be honest. I feel like he played decent form.
Well against Everton that day, I say, when he came on.
And for Scotland as well.
Was it Everton? Sorry, or was it Brentford?
When he scored. Everton when he scored, yeah.
Yeah, Everton. Yeah. Sorry, Everton. Yeah, he scored. Like he played quite well, actually. I thought he was one of our man of the matches that day. But yeah, I mean, we should be beating Forest. No concerns or no issues, no excuses there. We should be beating them. But yeah, I mean, we should. I am worried about the Sevilla game on Thursday, because it is European. It is their European heritage. It is their sort of competition. Let's say like Real Madrid is the Champions League. This is Sevilla's competition. Although I do think Sevilla have been worse. Had we not made those substitutions, I think we'd have won the game.
The game should have been at the top of half time, and that's the frustrating thing. I'm just going to reply to Red Devil. It's his 5th metatarsal that is broken. And as you can say there, the swelling, basically, until the swelling's gone down, they need to operate on it. It's roughly between 6 and 8 weeks, to say, don't they? 7 weeks.
So he's missed the season.
So end of the season, but should be back for pre-season. Fingers crossed. Not as bad as we first feared.
If we do make the Europa League final, then there's a chance he could play that. There's a chance, because that's in June. I think that's like in early June. I don't think that's like because the season ends in May 28th. So the Europa League final should be after the season ends. So around that, the season ends around late May. So like the Premier League season, I mean. So if we do somehow make the Europa League final, I do think Martinez could potentially be back for the Europa League final if we do make it. Like, it's a big if, because I don't know if we're gonna go through on Thursday. I hope we do. I really hope we do. But now with all these injuries, with Sevilla coming into play reckless football, becoming to play dirty at Old Trafford, players have got injured now. I really worry for us going forward, because we don't have the depth, in my opinion. We don't have the quality.
It is that playing on Sunday and then Thursday is worrying, isn't it? With already the injuries, but I'm hoping that obviously Rashford could be back, which I think would be a game changer for us. No, it's cool. But Rashford coming back could be a game changer, but obviously that is a big if. I hope he doesn't rush back.
I don't think.
Oh, who's better? Before I say goodbye to you, Wakeman, who's better? Modric, Iniesta, or Xavi?
Iniesta. Toss up between Xavi and Modric. Toss up. You can toss a coin.
In the chat game. I mean, Xavi was special though. Xavi was.
Iniesta deserved that 2010 Ballon d'Or as well. I'm sorry, Iniesta should have won that 2010 Ballon d'Or, or Wesley Sneijder. We'll not get into that, because a lot of Messi fans will be like, "Oh, Messi should have Messi this, Messi that." All right.
It's meant like entertainment wise though. I absolutely love watching Modric. I've got to be honest. Like, I was just in awe every time I watch
that.
It.
Real Madrid
that's a tough
2017.
I'd probably go.
Was one of my favorite teams.
But that's a tough question. Ever. Can we put McTominay in that question as well? I'll say McTominay. I'm joking.
Sure, McTominay is up there.
That's a horrible question, Mbappe. But thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. It's a good question. I'd probably say Modric on a personal level, just because he just entertains me, and I like to be entertained as a fan. But Aikvin, I want to say massive thank you for joining me as always. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will promise to do more of these shows. 100%. Apologies, there's been a gap in between, but I am back.
No problem.
And hopefully we'll be smiling.
Love the good work.
Sunday.
Love the good work.
Fingers crossed. Appreciate it. Thank you, Aikvin, and have a good one.
United.
Take care.
Come on.
Come on, United. Take care. A bit of an opposition for you now. So we have got Anfield Uncle Rods. I hope I said that right. I apologise if not. I am going to get you on very, very shortly. I'm just going to quickly blast through the chat. So we've got Zidane will be in that group, and also Skulls, 100% curlers. You know me and my Skulls reviews. Very, very biased in that sense. Elise Maguire scored with a header last night, albeit in his own net. How many own goals has Maguire actually got this season? Has anyone got the stat for that? I want to know. Let's get Anfield Uncle Rods on. How are you doing?
What's going on, love? Doing brilliant work right there still, innit? Doing some good work out there. Yeah, man.
I appreciate it. Appreciate that. How are you?
I'm very well. Listen, I'm friends with a lot of Man United supporters still, you know. I do a lot of work with Sophie, Norwegian woman. She's a Man United fan. Do a lot of work with her. Do a lot of work with Macy as well.
Yeah.
Do a lot of work with them. They're all in my group and everything that. So listen, no shade around here, fam. No shade around here. You know what I mean?
Love it. Well, we always welcome him. We're always welcoming. And I appreciate new faces coming on the channel as always. And you're probably aware that Macy is one of our ladies in red as well, who works a lot on the channel. So it's good to have an opposition view on. How are you feeling about your season? I mean, it's been very obviously battering us, which was a high point. But then other than that, it's been frustrating, hasn't it, for you guys?
It has been frustrating still. You know what it is at the end of the day, right? Listen, Liverpool and Man United and are the most successful clubs in English history. We are the most successful club in English history. We set the trend. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, with that and everything, that you do get your seasons at the end of the day where you're not up to it. You're not up to par. Do you know what I mean? You get the season. No matter how much you try and everything, it's just not your season. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Because Man United had it 3 times, but what's important at the day is how you bounce back next season. Do you know what I mean? The impact you have next season, that's more important. If you continuously go down that spiral season after season, do you know what I mean? Obviously, that's when you got the problem. Yeah. But we've been good for a good 5 seasons, I think that, right? And I think this season is one of the seasons where it's not going well for us. We get the results at the day that we had against Bournemouth and that we had against Man United, which is literally unexpected. Because I did a match preview with Macy. You know what I mean? Love her to bits, man. Love her to bits. I did a pre-match with her, and what it was, I had it down as a draw. I literally had it down as a draw that we were going to draw with sort of Man United on the Sunday. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have a 4-0, 5-0 or whatever. I had that we were going to draw. Because I said sometimes
I think we have to be real as well. Sorry to interrupt you there. But at half time as well, it's 1-0. Nobody expected that second half to be the manner that it was. It was a freak game. From a United fans' point of view, I still can't get my head around it. Genuinely.
I think you're right. I think what happened at the day, when we went 1-0 up, everything yes, the game was still there. Do you know what I mean? I thought it might be a 1-1. You know what I mean? But I thought this is how I saw the game, because I did a watch along for the game. When the second half come and we went at Man United and we scored the goal, I think what happened with the Man United players, the heads just dropped. Yeah. And that's one thing you cannot do against teams like Liverpool. Liverpool is drop your head. Vice versa. We couldn't do the same against you. We couldn't drop our head against you, because if we dropped our head against you, you just give us a hiding. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, certain players that I saw from Man United, they wasn't really up for the fight. Do you understand what I'm saying? But 100%. I still didn't expect it to be so obviously that far. Do you know? Don't get wrong, I was happy with it, because who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be happy with it? Do you know what I mean? But I didn't actually expect it to go that far. I was like, wow, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But in relation to our sort of like our season, I think really and truly we just have to write the season off and regroup for next season. You know, just regroup. You know what I'm saying? Like Man United last night. Felt sorry for Martinez. Felt sorry for him. I don't wish an injury on anybody, even though it's the opposition. You understand what I'm saying?
It's good to hear that because you know the amount of tweets from rival fans I saw yesterday, like just celebrating it, and I'm thinking like, how could you do that? I remember when Van Dijk got injured for you guys, and I was like sending him like best wishes. Like you don't want to see that, regardless of it being rivals. Like they're still human beings at the end of the day, and you don't want to see anyone getting a catastrophic injury. It's heartbreaking.
That's what I'm trying to say. Because the way I look at is this, right? Is like we're a footballing family. First and foremost, we're a footballing family. We're all sort of like are the objective for the same goal. We want our team to be successful. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have your little banter and this and that, right? But some things at the day is bigger than football. Look at the other day now. The other day, we obviously it was the anniversary of the Hillsborough disaster, yeah? This is why I've got a lot of respect for Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? They Odegaard and Mikel
Arteta, yeah,
Arteta laid the wreath, didn't he? Laid the wreath at the memorial stand. Laid the wreath there. In the minutes of silence of the day, they observed it brilliantly. Nobody said anything silly or nothing like that. Everybody was quiet, right?
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta had the badge on his jacket saying, obviously the 96 badge, had on his jacket of that. And a lot of people know this. In 1989, when it did happen, right, Arsenal did the same thing. Do you know what I mean? They respect.
Yeah.
So sometimes there are things at the day that are bigger than football that you have to come together and say, look, you know what, and then I support you. Do you know what I mean? Now, Martinez getting that injury yesterday, I think that's a massive blow for Man United. Do you know what I mean? In like what they want to achieve this season. I'm not saying that they won't achieve it. I'm just saying it's a massive blow.
It's a big obstacle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an obstacle, and I don't wish to end anybody because at the end of the day, as you said, he's a human being and he's a player for God's sake. You know what I mean?
It's his career at the end of the day, isn't it? Like it's
How can you laugh at that and how can you sort of like be happy at that? No, that's not me. I don't go in for that. So I do feel sorry for him. I think in the second half what you did in the second half, which you do sometimes, you take the foot off the pedal.
Exactly. You're not ruthless enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll have them battered from pillar to post. You know what I'm saying? But then all of a sudden you take the foot off your pedal and they'll get in. And do you know what I mean? And then sort of like you take the foot more of the pedal in for that, and before you know it, you have a drawing or probably losing. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes today when you're playing those sort of games, especially I don't need to tell Man United how to play in Europe because obviously in the day we're the two masters of playing in Europe. But sometimes in the day, right, you just have to get at them, and don't when you got them on the rope.
Do you think our goal difference this season just reflects that perfectly though as well, Rod? Because like I'm just looking now, Newcastle 27 goal difference, Man City 48, Arsenal 43. We've got 7.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So
we're just not ruthless. I mean, create chances. It's not that we're not creating them. We just don't put them away.
Yeah, and to be honest, Dave, I'll be honest with you. I have enjoyed watching some Man United games. I think, wow, that's some good football there. Do you know what I mean? You know,
better than it has been. Let's be honest.
It's been good football. You know, I've seen you playing in there. Now you got sort of like Maguire out of the squad. Do you know what I mean? Playing some good football. You know what I mean? But like, but what I'm saying is, Dave, yes, sometimes you have to just batter a team. If you got them battered and everything like right, you just have to go for blood sometimes. Get it done out the way and everything like right, and then you bring on sort of like some fringe players and they to play out the game and everything. You have to go for it. Now, I know Sevilla and Sevilla's that team. This is their jam. This is their thing. This is their thing. Europa Cup. This is their thing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When you think you've got them battered and then think that right, they come back. That's why sometimes you have to kill them off. Yeah.
You just give them hope, don't you? You give them hope. A reason to keep pushing.
We had them in the in finals, and like we was battering them if it that right. And then Durridge scored that goal, didn't he? When out boot kick. He was just a wicked goal, man. He's world class. And we was rolling up going into the half time. They came out and battered us 3-1. They literally battered us 3-1. They just all they did in there was attacked Moreno's side. Just attacked Moreno's side. Because Moreno was actually leaving all that space and attacked that side for that, and they had us battered. So sometimes when you've got like the initiative, when you've got the ascendancy against teams like Seville, you have to, put them away. Do you know what I mean? But like
100%.
You have been playing good and everything, and who knows? You could probably go on and win the Europa Cup. You never know.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think you can win it?
I'll be honest, I feel we've got a good manager. I really like Ten Hag, and I feel like we've got to show a bit of trust and a bit of confidence in him. It is frustrating, the injury, like you say, Martinez is a huge injury for us, but we're not out of it. It could have been worse yesterday. We could have lost that game really with 10 men at the end of it. They were obviously pushing. Like, obviously, conceding 2 is frustrating, but for me, that's our own downfall. It should have been done and dusted by half time. It wasn't, so we gave them hope coming back into it. But if Rashford can be back as well for that second leg on Thursday, look, I do think we're good enough to beat Sevilla, and I do think we're good enough to win the competition. But I mean, we beat Barcelona like in the running so far, so we can obviously do it. But it's not going to be. It's not going to be easy, and I do also think we need a bit of luck on our side of the decisions that Bruno is not playing on Thursday now for a stupid yellow card, which was never a yellow card in my opinion.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. We've had some shocking decisions in Europe go against us this season, and I feel like we need a bit of luck as well. You always do need a bit of luck in those kind of competitions, and we haven't really had it, so I'm hoping that we do. But yeah, look, for me, even with the injuries, we're still good enough to do it. But I'm relying a lot on Ten Hag. I think substitutions yesterday were a bit questionable. Apparently afterwards he said that the referee warned him about Anthony and Bruno, said they were close to getting red cards, so he took them off. I think the second he took them off, the game did change. But at the same time, I sympathise with him because a lot of people are, he needs to make changes, he needs to rotate. But you look at our squad depth, and it reflected it yesterday. It's just not good enough. So yeah, it's kind of it's frustrating one. It's a frustrating one. It's a bit of a headache for him as well, I can imagine. But we need a positive result, I think, against Forest the weekend, because we don't need to get on the downward spiral after the negative of the Martinez injury and stuff. So I'm hoping that we have a positive result. And before I do leave you, obviously, please shout out where people can find you, and obviously follow your socials and whatnot as well. And also, where do you think Liverpool are going to finish this season?
Right. First thing before I do all that, I do rate Rashford. I think Rashford, to me, at the end of the day, listen, he's a brilliant player, and I'll have him at Liverpool anytime. I just absolutely love that player. Rashford is awesome. And also as well, you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Subscribe to your channel as well. Subscribe to your channel.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Listen, as I said in the day, right? I said this before. There needs to be more women doing this content creating. Do you know what I mean? Needs to be more women having a voice heard in content creating and stuff like that, because there's a lot of women out there that, one, like football, and two, know a lot about football. So I mean, so the fact that you're doing this content creating and you got 1,500 subscribers, listen, I commend you to keep up the good work. Also, yes, you're welcome, and pledge to come and show. You can find me on Anfield Uncle Rods on YouTube. I've got a show about 7:15. I'm doing a preview for the Leeds game. So you can find me on there. Also, I'm on Instagram as well. Anfield Uncle Rods on Instagram, and Anfield Uncle Rods on Twitter as well. But where I think Liverpool finished this season, 5th. I think that top 4 might be slipping out of the way. But it all depends on the weekend. It all depends on the on Monday. If we can win the game on Monday and we can go on some type of run, 4th could be possible, but it's looking unlikely. So I would say 5th. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you. Obviously, you've shared some great views. It's nice to have an oppositional fan on as well. I always like to talk to our fans. And also, you spoke about United from an outside view, which I think is really important. So I appreciate that. And obviously, all the best with your channel as well. And hopefully, we can do a collab soon again. I'd love to get you on at some point. All right. So you look after yourself and have a lovely rest of your evening.
You take care. Same to you. And keep up the good work, love.
Cheers. Take care. See ya. Bye. Got a few more fans to get on before the air. I was just going to shout out a few people in the chat. Dor says, love your show, Sophie, but my team are ready for you on Sunday, even if we're not playing great. I've already said it, Dor. I've said that at your ground. Obviously, you guys are battling at the moment. You're fighting to stay in the league. I think obviously you're not the worst position, but obviously you're still there or thereabouts. So you're fighting to stay in the league. You got players like Lingard, even Morgan Gibbs-White, who I think sent a bit of revenge against us, obviously after the semi-final and that in the cup. Our injuries, I think, will get your tails up as well. I think you've already taken points off big teams, if I'm not wrong, as well this season. So I feel like that's going to be a big test for us, 100%. And I'm not complacent by any means going into that game. In fact, I'm pretty nervous about it. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, I agree with you on that. But may the best team win. I think that's all I can say. May the best team win. I see people in chat asking why I got oppositional views on. Guys, this is a calling show. This is just for football fans. This is for everybody. And as I just mentioned, it's quite nice sometimes to hear an oppositional fan talking about my club, or our club, should I say. So I kind of enjoy that as well. I am going to get the next fan on now. I've got Ashley waiting in the wings. Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm okay, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Ashley. What do you want to talk about this evening?
I got the flu, man. I had the flu, so I haven't been really that good so far. So, but I'm alright. How are you doing?
After talking to a few fans, I feel a bit better than I did yesterday, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, the Martinez injury was gutting.
I just want to say that on the side that the negatives, I'm just going to talk about the negatives. I'm not going to talk about anything else because Anthony is selfish as hell.
I thought he was good yesterday, though, gotta be honest.
No, but I mean, that ball he should have given to Bruno with that whopping. I was like, you see, I couldn't watch the whole game because my power utility puts our lights off. So unfortunately, I only watched the first half. But when I watched the highlights, I was like, I think I saw the thing on Sky that they said Wan-Bissaka and Martial must pack their bags. And Ten Hag is wanting to get rid of 13 players in the team. I'm like, okay, there has to be Maguire, Lindelof, Pai, Telles, Williams. And I think probably going to be Fred or McTominay, one of the two of them. I think McTominay's playing really well. So, but on the other side, I want to say that we haven't been as fluent as we would have thought at the Ten Hag. I think we've really played really well. I saw Bolt say that he's actually excited to watch United, and I agree with him.
Yeah.
As far as the game is concerned, we threw it away. We should have hammered them in the first half. We should have been at least 4 up.
100%.
But I think we got complacent, and I think we got shown up by Newcastle. And yes, you see those. I knew that Newcastle, City, and Arsenal would be our toughest games of the season.
Yeah.
Getting 7-0 to Liverpool is not a joke, but they play really well, So I think that there is worrying signs, but the nice thing is that Casemiro and Eriksen are back, and I think Rashford will be back for the next game of Sevilla, so that's also a good game. But I don't know. What? Let me ask you this, Oliver. How do you think Iceland has underperformed you or overperformed this year for you?
I think if we get top 4 in a trophy, then he's overperformed. I think obviously top 4 was always the objective, but getting a trophy as well is better than what a lot of us expected. So I think from now until the end of the season, obviously we've got a tough run in, starting with Forest at the weekend. With the injuries we've got as well, I think it's going to be a tough one. But for me, like silverware and top 4, I think a lot of us would have taken that when we first heard Ten Hag was coming in. It's frustrating when you look at the position in the Europa League and whatnot, when you think of beating Barcelona, it's there for the taking. But I do think that yesterday and the injuries that I've had, it worries me. With no Martinez, that defence does concern me. But I do feel like we're more than capable of getting top 4. And like I say, already getting a trophy. Potentially 2 trophies if you want to look at the FA Cup. But for me, like that is already exceeded a lot of expectations by doing that. I want to say big up to Macy as well in the chat. Please make sure you go and subscribe to Devils United as well.
Do you think which one would you prefer winning? FA or the Europa League? I know it's a tough question.
FA Cup for me. FA Cup. For me, FA Cup is a lot more prestigious in my eyes. I don't know if the FA Cup is, and obviously for me, beating City do it as well. If City do go on to win the league, I don't want City winning a treble, so that's another added bonus. Like I think if we win it, we're stopping them from winning a treble, so that's my other mindset as well. What about you?
I think City is the tougher game. City will definitely be the tougher game. I think we can win the Europa League hands down. I don't think anybody should beat us. With a fully strength team, nobody should touch us on the Europa League circuit. I'm just being honest. But on the other side of that, I'm going to say that I think that we can win I don't want to say we're gonna lose the FA Cup. Let me just make that point. I don't think we can lose it. I just think that City don't win that. I think the next couple of games will tell us who's gonna win the league. Remember City have a game in Arsenal, and they have to play Arsenal.
Mm.
I think the next game. I think the extra game is Brighton. I think City's game is Brighton.
I was going to say Brighton is a big. Like, let's not underestimate them as well. They've been flying this
Yeah,
season.
no, I'm underestimating. What I'm saying is that weigh it up, man. If they win the league, then I think we have a top number 8. If they're gonna run after it, you know.
Yeah,
But if they don't win the league, then they're gonna come out there to hammer us. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at the teams in the Europa League. Sevilla's laying what fourth from bottom, and we drew a game saying last night.
yeah.
Juventus is having a massive problem again. Sporting is probably the only iffy team, but I think I don't know, man. I'm really iffy about it, but I think we can win both. But I want to ask you, what do you think of Sabitzer's performance last night?
I love
He should be
Sabitzer.
signed.
I love
he
him.
should be
I
signing.
feel like 100% no-brainer for me. Especially rumours are about 20 million, I believe. Like for me, that is an absolute no-brainer, and I would definitely take him. But it's one of them. Like the ownership situation is obviously a worrying one. Like from now until the end of the season, we'll see what happens to that third round of bidding.
This is what Man did to sound punch him in the face.
You know what
It
though?
was a bust.
That like for me, it happens in football. Like obviously, I've played football for a long time as well, and you see a Sunday league level and a grassroots level, you have a lot of arguments with teammates and stuff. Obviously, especially in women's, you don't as much have punches, but I've seen in men's Sunday league games that happens quite often. I think it's one of the things that happens. I think Bayern Munich have done the right thing. They're just kind of moving on from it, and
think
hopefully
it's-
Sané and Mane can as well.
They suspended Mane, I think. They suspended him.
Yeah, a game and a fine, I think, which I think is right, and then move on. I know he's been training as normal and stuff as well, and I think that's it. They just draw the line and move on and just kind of brief. But it happens. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. I'm not gonna lie from Mane, like I never thought that, but it happens,
But
doesn't it? So
how's your league going so far? Sophie? How's your team playing so far? How's your league going so far?
So I've had an Achilles injury for a while, unfortunately, but my team are doing really, really well, pushing for promotion this season. Fingers crossed. Should be promoted. So yeah, leading the league.
You see how our women and our team, our men and our women's teams are performing in the. I think actually we don't actually get the opportunity to watch the women's team. So how do you think they're playing? I watched one or two of their games so far. And they
So-
look really.
United women should, for me, like they're up there to win the league. I don't think they will win the league. I think we're slightly still short of that. Of course, it would be amazing if we do. But they're all thereabouts, pushing obviously Chelsea, Arsenal, all the way to the end. Playing against Brighton this weekend, which is another a big game. But yeah, the United women, I think, have had a great season, really entertaining to watch. We just need to get Champions League football. We need to try and keep the likes of Russo, who's contracted up soon as well. But I think all that does all depend on where we finish. Ashley, before I do say bye, I'm going to ask you a quick question because I've got 3 other people waiting, and obviously I want to get everyone on before I do have to dash. So, honest answer, where do you think we're going to finish this season? Third.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a quick question before I go as well. Mason Greenwood is apparently coming back next season
Yeah.
into the setup, right? My question is, and listen, the reason why I'm asking this question because I know he's getting married to this girl and they're having
Yeah.
a baby, right? So we all know this was it. Somebody said to me that maybe somebody else planted this whole thing in her and threw it out. So I'm gonna ask you because you're a woman, and I don't want to, how do you feel about it? Only as a woman, but and a supporter, how do you feel? Like because it's 2 separate things, because you are a woman and you are a footballer. But
So-
as a woman, how do you feel about him coming back into the team?
For me, I don't think he'll play for United again. I think because of what we all heard, unfortunately, and obviously what we saw all over social media, like for me, I can't see him playing for United again. I'm not saying I don't think he will play again, because I think he will, but I think it'll be elsewhere, maybe in a different country. But I can't see him coming back to United again. Me
No,
being
so
totally honest, and I don't think he should.
So they turned down teams for him. They turned down for him.
Yeah.
And
It's hard, isn't it? Like, it's really hard to talk because obviously we only see it from an outside perspective. We don't know the full ins and outs of everything. But it's hard. Like, it's their own, isn't it? Like,
and they said no. And they said no for loan deal. And they said no. So I heard that he might be coming back. He's going to be back into the team next season. So, but the only
I think time will tell with that, won't it? I think time will tell, and we'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Is the saying,
but
isn't it?
Arsenal, City, United, Newcastle will be the top 4.
I think that's a good shape.
Chelsea's going to fight in the relegation next season. But
Yeah.
just joking. I don't think so. I think
that's right. That top 4.
who the top
Arsenal,
4 is now
City,
will be the top
us,
4.
and Newcastle. And I think it'd be good to see Newcastle up there as well. But Ashley,
United, so I don't know.
it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Thank you so much for coming on,
Always,
Ashley.
always.
Hopefully, I'll speak to you again
Yeah.
soon. Yeah, you have a good rest of your evening and you take care.
You too.
Thank you, Ashley. Thanks.
No
Take
problem.
care. Bye. Bye. I am going to get Nippon on next. Nippon obviously is a Chelsea fan. Then I've got Mr. Dor and I've also got Amir there. So I've got obviously a Forest fan and a Liverpool fan here as well. But first I've got a Chelsea fan, which is an interesting one because obviously we haven't spoken to a Chelsea fan yet. Nippon, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you, Nippon. How are you feeling about your tie with Real Madrid today?
Look, the less is said about that, the better. Now those Real Madrid are one of those teams I absolutely hate, not because it's just we have to play them every single time. It's just that I don't like their ethics as a club in general. Like Florentino Perez. The less said about him, the better. I mean, you talk about look, a lot of owners have done shady stuff, but Florentino Perez is a known crook, and that's a fact. But yeah, whenever someone asks me which team I hate more out of Barcelona and Real Madrid, I just say both equally.
Fair enough. I think
all our transfers.
even though Real Madrid obviously got the win, I thought early on Chelsea had actually a few chances, obviously on the counter attack. Like Madrid were quite open, but the quality in that Madrid team with the likes of Modric, Kroos in the midfield, Benzema, Vinicius Junior, who is flying at the minute. Like Vinicius was a player I used to watch when he first broke into the team, and I was thinking, I don't rate this guy. Like really, like he hasn't quite got it. But now I've got to be honest, I eat my words because I think he's an outstanding winger. And I thought he had Reece James on toast many times during that game.
I shared the same views as you on Vinicius, and I too have been forced to eat my words. I mean, he was destroying our backline left, right, and centre. Whereas last season we managed to keep him quiet, but it was Benzema who ruined it. But I'm telling you one thing. Doug makes a really good point. We do need a goalkeeper in the summer. And there is one other thing. Like I always tell these Chelsea... I was in a Twitter space with a few Chelsea fans saying, we're going to smash Real Madrid. I'm like, in what planet are you living in? This isn't...
Your owner said that as well.
Huh?
Your owner said that as well, didn't he? Bowley said that before as well. 3-0 he said.
Look. I'm gonna give Bowley a free pass because he's new to the sport. He will learn. Like he's a baby compared to your other owners.
Yeah.
In the sport.
Where do you think then, Nippon? And I apologize that I'm going to try and get through these last few calls as fast as I can, just because I don't want to miss anyone out. But where do you think, honestly, you will finish this season?
Honestly, I don't see us finishing any higher than 7th, and that's being optimistic. I'll tell you one thing. Like, if we had a better manager in charge than Frank Lampard, like if we managed to pull the trigger and get Luis Enrique like that, the players would be more motivated. And even if we went 2-0 down, I would have actually stuck my head on the line and say we go through over 2 legs because Enrique has a very good record against Real Madrid from his time at Barcelona.
Yeah.
So
he's got a nous as well, hasn't he? He's got a tactical nous. Yeah. The Lampard appointment was a strange one, wasn't it? Yeah. Strange.
So long as we get the right manager in the summer, I'm ready to have 2 more months of pain. and I'll just end on this. If we had Enrique in the dugout right now, even at this 2-0 deficit, I would say he can motivate those players to turn it around at the bridge.
You've
And
got
the
quality
fans-
in your squad. Let's be honest. I mean, you spend enough
course.
money, of course, but you have got a lot of quality. I do agree. We have obviously the goalkeeper, but I also agree as well with what George said that you are lacking that natural goal scorer, which is obviously all the money that you've spent and you're struggling to score goals. And I feel
Of
like
course.
some of those chances that you got against Real Madrid early on, if you had that goal scorer, it could have been a different story.
It's just like you guys a couple of when you had Ollie, that your team were completely unmotivated. This is what Chelsea are going through right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I've lost you a bit, Nippon. There, you are crashing a little bit.
Yeah,
But
Wembley
gonna
Wi-Fi is very bad. I actually work. I
was wondering where you were. You're always in interesting places. Oh wow, check that out! Right by Wembley, love that.
I actually work at the Hilton Hotel next to the stadium.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So a nice little bit of scenery for you to look out on there then. Nippon,
Yeah,
I am going to breeze through, but I am going to say obviously a massive thank you to yourself for tuning in. Hope I can get you on next time as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
As always, like and subscribe to Ladies in Red, and also if you don't mind, Sophie, I'm going to share my own channel, NS Sports TV, on the road to 1K. Hopefully, I also attend the Content Creators Award later this year as well.
All the best for you, Nippon. All the best. Make sure you go and subscribe to him.
When's the next call-in show?
So I'm going to do it weekly. So most likely we'll be on Thursday nights, Nippon. Obviously, with our game yesterday, it kind of changed it. But I'm hoping to get it on Thursday nights, either before or after fixtures. But yeah, it'll be a weekly show. I'll always pop a tweet out, but once a week. If not Thursday, it'll be Friday as it is tonight. Is that all right?
Yeah. I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. Take care, Nippon. Bye.
See you.
Right, there's Nippon there, right by Wembley, which is pretty bad. It's always an interesting place. There's been a few times where I've spoken to Nippon and he's been like in a restaurant and stuff as well. I'm going to quickly get Amir on because he's been waiting a long time, and then Mr. Door to round off as well, obviously giving us a little prediction for that game on Sunday. Amir, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing very good, thank you. Thanks for joining me. What do you want to talk about this evening?
I just want to talk about that United versus Sevilla game.
Must be.
Yeah, I didn't watch it at the first half, but in the second half, I watched it with my friends, and I was like around with a couple of my United friends, and I saw Anthony, and Anthony should have scored, man. That shot he did, I was like, no. And then
apart with Anthony, obviously he always does that chopping on his left, doesn't he, and whips it. But he
yeah,
does it so fast that he tends to do it. But for me, he was like our brightest spark yesterday. I mean, Martial obviously started the game really well, but in that second half in particular, like, we didn't really have much going on going forwards, did we? I mean, we ended the game with Elanga, Pellistri, and Weghorst at the front three. You wonder why we didn't score any more goals. I mean,
I thought the substitutions by Erik ten Hag was it got me puzzled. It got me confused. I didn't quite understand why he made those substitutions. I think if he hadn't made those substitutions, I think y'all would have won the game for sure.
Definitely. Definitely 100%. But obviously, I'm guessing American Cop. I'm guessing you're a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this season for you guys, and obviously all the Bellingham rumours that are circulated at the moment?
Oh yeah, so for the Bellingham rumors, when I first saw that Liverpool have cooled their interest in Jude Bellingham, I was shocked, but I kind of understand why, because like he's worth 150 million to 160 million, so he's not worth that much for a 19-year-old, you know what I mean? But obviously, I think for Jude Bellingham, I think he's probably going to stay at Dortmund. For another year, and then maybe he wants to come to Liverpool, because Paul Joyce says, who is our most reliable journalist for Liverpool, says he was keen on moving Anfield, like he liked the clubs and the values and the tradition. Like, it's not just about the money, it's about the club. And I think Jude Bellingham's going to stay for another year, and we'll see what happens. And
I think I could see him staying for another year as well. I've already said that. I can see that happening. It'd be interesting to see, obviously, where he goes after that, because obviously a lot of big clubs want him, and rightly so, because he's a special talent. I know our name's been dipped in there as well. I can't see him coming to United, even though I'd absolutely love it at United, because I feel like he's the kind of man that you want to build your team around. But I think he's going to be, whoever does get him is going to be very fortunate for sure. But obviously, you mentioned that Sevilla game yesterday with United. Obviously, Martinez sadly getting a bad injury as well, which is absolutely
Yeah,
heartbreaking
I
for
just
us
want to
United
say
fans.
sorry. Yeah, I just want to say sorry about Lissandro Martinez injury. You know, I'm very sorry
Appreciate
about that. Yeah, it just really sucks, and yeah, I don't wish that on any player at all. Like I really don't wish that on any player, and it just sucks so bad.
Yeah,
But hopefully y'all
it's
get top
sad.
four because Spurs are doing nothing. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough for y'all to get top four with these injuries and
It's going to be an interesting end to the season for sure, 100%. But where do you feel? I mean, where do you see your obviously Liverpool? Where do you see you finishing this season now? A lot of Liverpool fans are kind of already like I know Rod said earlier, kind of writing off this season, and looking to next season. Now, look, can you see you guys potentially making top four? I mean, it's very unlikely, isn't it?
No, I don't think we're gonna make it to top four because we've been so inconsistent. You know, our midfields are just not existent. Our defending is just shaky. You know, we keep conceding goals left and right. You know, we've been just outran, outperformed. You know, outscored,
Yeah.
and it's just an awful season. It's a season to write off. But honestly, I think for Liverpool, I think we're probably gonna finish in sixth place. So not just fifth place that Uncle Rod said, but just sixth place. I think we could still make it to the Europa League. And if it's in the Europa Conference League, then oh man, I'm not gonna watch that.
You'd rather just miss that.
Yeah, I'd rather just miss that. If we just play teams in Sweden and you see a team called, it's just awful. It's just gonna be awful. Like it's a low for me. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously. We'll see. It's from now to the end of the season, a lot can change. We know that already. The Premier League is the best league in the world. That's why we love it. But yeah, thank you. Honestly, Ami, thank you so much for coming on. Apologies that it's a quick one. Obviously, I'm trying to get everyone on before the end of the stream. But I want to say a massive thank you, and hopefully we can get you on for another call-in show at some point.
Yeah, no
and obviously
worries.
all the best this weekend to you guys. Is it Leeds your next game this weekend?
Yeah, it's against Leeds, I believe, on Monday.
Monday, yeah, which will be an interesting one, no less. But thank you so much, and hopefully we can chat again soon.
Yeah, is it okay if I shout out for my channel?
Go for it. Go for it.
All right, so for my YouTube channel, it's called American Cop. It's a Liverpool fan content channel. We do watch-alongs, we do call-in shows, we do match previews, we do transfer rumors, etc., etc. We do all those kinds of things, and we just hit past the 300 subscribers. So I just want to say, hopefully we can keep going, and make sure you guys check it out. Check it out and subscribe to American Cop, and yeah.
Thank you, and all the best with your channel as well, Amir. Thank you so much, and hopefully chat soon.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. And then finally, last but not least, we have got Mr. Dort waiting. Mr. Dort, I know he's a Forest fan, so I think this one will be really interesting because obviously big game on Sunday. How are you doing?
What's going on, Sophie? How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Nervous.
Already? Come on, we've got a few days yet. You're all right. We've got a few days yet.
No, I've seen you lot got so many injuries, but you're not as bad as this lot. We've got like 12 or 13 players injured.
Yeah, but you've got like a 40-man squad, so you're all good.
No, I've got 50. You've got 50.
I'm joking. This game, like for me, at Old Trafford, obviously, I'm a bit more confident, our home form, but our away form in general isn't the best anyway of late. So that's why before the injuries and everything, I was already kind of thinking, like, this game is a dodgy one. Like it really is for the running top four and stuff. Yesterday, obviously, made me feel worse.
Yeah, you know what it is, right? You say about your away form is not great. Our away form is shocking. So, like, we've been to your place twice, lost twice. You've come to sit ground as well, and you beat us in the League Cup 3-0.
Yeah.
But even if, like I said, you've got so many players out injured, you still got a good team.
Yeah, like I said, we still have got the quality, and I love our manager Ten Hag as well. We've still got it. It's just a bit of a downer, is it, when you just lose one of your best players in Martinez. Varane obviously out injured as well, so now we were thinking, we've got Harry Maguire, potentially Luke Shaw coming in at left centre back. Like,
that was weird. You know when Luke Shaw plays like centre back, it was at City Ground. I thought to myself, what's he doing centre back? And to be fair,
it's been good. To be fair,
he's been good because he's about how tall? He's about 5'7" or something like that. He still played like a bloody Maldini.
Yeah.
But,
he's and he's a good ball player as well, so that helps playing out from the back and whatnot. Having Maguire in there, obviously, he's a bit And this is like yesterday. I saw Maguire getting a lot of stick for the own goal. Like he couldn't do anything about it. It's a freak one. It had to happen to Maguire. He just couldn't write it. But for me, like Harry Maguire, like, we're just not as confident when he's playing at the back. Like you can just see our general play. We're just not as assured than when we've got Varane and Martinez in there. So that's what worries me. But look, like you've already said, we've got injuries, but we've still definitely got a squad who are more than good enough to go to the City ground and beat you guys. But it's about who's up for it more.
Yeah.
Are we going to be up for it? And that's what it boils down to. We've seen often this. You saw the Liverpool game when we got absolutely peppered. Like we weren't up for it, and that's what worries me. Are we going to be up for it after what's happened yesterday? Can Ten Hag get these players up for it against obviously Forest at the City ground? Because that's going to be a feisty place to go.
It is, like I said, our home form. I know we lost to Newcastle at the City ground, but our home form is not too bad. And like I said, we're in trouble. We're bottom three. But we look on paper, like I said, Man United, they're still a good team. Like I said, I've always rated Rashford, and I'm happy he's not playing, because if Rashford plays, like I said, when he played against Forest at the City ground, he actually destroyed Forest. But listen, it gives us a little bit of confidence. It's given a little bit of confidence with all his players. With like Martinez, after, like I said, when he came to City ground, I thought this guy's got 5'4", but world class. He's world class. So that's gave us a little confidence. We can talk about Maguire. He's not doing well, blah blah blah, this and that, but he's still playing. He's got to play. Who else, man? You're going to play in that
Lindelof is
but everyone, I see on social media, everyone's saying, "Oh, Maguire, Lindelof, they're not great centre back."
The thing is with Maguire, like, I feel for him in a sense. Obviously, it was stupid money we paid for him. No doubt about it. Like, we got absolute wins for him, 100%. But he's an easy target. Like, before he even set foot on the pitch yesterday, when he was warming up, there's people like slating him on Twitter, and I'm thinking he hadn't even kicked the ball yet. Do you know what I mean? He's an easy target, and I think the price tag comes into that. For me, we just play differently when he's there. And whether it's his confidence or I don't know what it is, but we just don't see him as assured. Like playing it from the back and stuff, we're a lot more shaky. We move the ball slower. That's what it is for me. It's the way it affects our general play. We're just not as confident than when we've got the likes of obviously Martinez, and Varane in there. Obviously, having Casemiro back is a big plus. Eriksen back is a big plus as well. Sabitzer is playing well as well, which is a bonus. And obviously, you've already mentioned in the chat there, Bruno Fernandes is in good form as well. So that's what I'm saying. We've got good quality. But I do think Forest will be like, you know what, we can get at their back four 100%.
I see, like you mentioned, the midfield, like Casemiro, Fernandes. I think they're the players Forest are going to be more worried about, because talk about Rashford, he's out injured. But if you haven't got that midfield, you're not going to create things. But listen, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Forest. But we've got a good home form. The Newcastle game, like I said, we lost 2-1. They scored in the last minute. And it's going to be a tough game, but I'll be happy with a point. I'll be happy with a point, because I know you beat us 3 times now, and I don't want to pick it 4. I don't want to mention the last time you played in the league. We played when you beat us. Do you remember the score, Sophie?
In the league?
Yeah.
What was the score? No, I can't remember the score. I feel like we've played like 10 times this season. What was the score in the league?
What, can't you remember it?
No.
The chat, people in the chat, I don't want to mention it because it could happen again. It could happen again. It was.
Why can't I remember this?
How can you not remember it? I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to mention it. You beat us 8-1.
Was it 8? I was going to say, I was thinking 7. It was 8. Yeah, 8.
8-1.
Mad. Yeah, I don't think it'll be that. We don't score enough.
Well, like, you never know. Like the way you say.
Then again, I didn't think Liverpool were going to batter us away.
Exactly.
So
and this is the point.
Anything can happen.
Our form, like I said, like, we can talk about our home form's good, but on general form, like, we've not won in 8. We've not won in 8. And Man United saying this, because now the way what happened to them against Seville, second half was shocking. But it's still, Man United are still a good side. Like, they're going for 4th place, top 4.
Yeah.
And listen, if we get like I said, if we get out of the defence early doors, anything could happen. But
if I remember last time we played you, Morgan Gibbs-White and Johnson were a bit of a handful for us. Their pace.
Yeah. You mentioned Jesse Lingard earlier on the show.
Yeah.
He won't play. I don't think he's not.
Is he still injured?
No. He's not in. He just can't get in the team.
Just not in the squad.
Can't team. I think
he's gone at the end of the season, isn't he? What do you
100%.
think? MLS maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I just don't think. Yeah, he had his chance against Spurs, and first half it seems like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And the show, as you know, Sophie, he's still a good player. He's a good player. And the thing off the pitch, as it's been well documented.
Yeah.
I just, his head not. He should have gone to America, if I'm honest. Like I know West Ham was sniffing as well, but
it's a shame when you think about his form at West Ham when he went there. Like
I know,
like
but I hear the West Ham fans were salty when he came to his lot and all that. But listen, he came to Forest. It hasn't worked out with him.
That's why you had him for 1 year, isn't it? That's why you only did him 1 year. So
if it did, it's not worked out. But you never know. We've got 8 games to go. He might play one good game. He might even play against Man U. We never know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for Sunday's game.
Yeah, well, may the best team win. I think it will definitely come down to that. Who is up for it more? I genuinely think it'll be up for that because it's going to be an awkward atmosphere, I think, for United. So I feel like we have to be at it. We have to be switched on. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I do think if we turn up, we should beat you guys. But if we don't, then I feel like there could be a shock on the card. So fingers crossed there isn't. But we'll see what happens. And before we do it, do you think you'll stay up this season and obviously share your channel as well?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. These next 8 games are massive because we've got you lot, we've got the Scousers, Liverpool, we've got Brighton, we've got Arsenal, we've got Chelsea. Listen, we've got big teams, so it's going to be tough. But I believe that we can get 3 wins out of somewhere. I believe we can do it. But
yeah,
the form I'm right now is not great. And last but not least, my channel, Dora Tour. I do all the Forest content. I follow Forest home and away. I interview ex-Forest players on my channel. I've got a show at 9 o'clock. I've got Macy from Devils.
Oh yeah,
yeah, she's
Devils United.
Yeah, Devils United. I've got her at 9 o'clock tonight. So if any Man United fan wants to come and hear Macy and myself talk about Sunday's game, please go subscribe to my channel, Dora Tour, and it'd be good to talk about Sunday's game.
Yeah, make sure you go and check it out. Obviously, that sub button as well, and all the best for the game at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm not going to say good luck to you lot because I'm not going to say good luck. So yeah, hopefully after the game, like you can sort things out and beat Seville on Thursday.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that. Fingers crossed. But yeah, honestly, all the best to yourself and your channel as well, and hopefully we can speak again soon. Take care.
As well, people, make sure to subscribe to Sophie. I watch your channel, Sophie.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. You take care. Have a good one.
Right.
Cheers. Bye.
See you later.
Bye. Guys, that was Mr. Dork. Can I say a massive thank you for everyone who's tuned in? So a few people getting a bit bitter about me getting rival fans on. Look, it is what it is. But we're all football fans. I'm very wholesome. This isn't a United show. This is a football fan show. Everyone is welcome. I have other designated shows that are purely United. This is just an open one. So I just want to reiterate that there. Don't feel like I have to, but I am anyway. But yeah, guys, I want to say a massive thank you for the support as always. I appreciate everyone in the chat giving in your views as well. Massive game at the weekend, I think, for us, to be fair, with obviously the running to top 4 with the injuries that we've had. I still think we should have the quality to win. I do think we'll concede though. I'm going to say maybe 3-1 to United. 3-1 to United, maybe getting another goal late on just to assure it. So yeah, 3-1 to United. Bruno goal, Casemiro goal just because I love him. You know what? I was going to say Weghorst, but no, I'm going to say Tony Martial. Tony Martial with the other one. That's my prediction. Anyway, and obviously get your predictions in as well. If I haven't got your comments, I appreciate there's a lot there, so sorry about that. Just drop a comment afterwards if you really want me to answer it, and I'll always check there and respond as well. If you are new, hit obviously the sub on Ladies in Red, hit a like on the video, and share it if you could as well. I'd appreciate that. I'll be back next week with more streams, and obviously my ECL stream will be on Sunday as well. If you want to come and see me play a bit of Hogwarts Legacy and a bit of FIFA on Monday as well, check out my Twitter or my Instagram and you'll see the link there. But until next time, enjoy yourself. Come on United this weekend. Please have a good one. Take care.